Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, a game that people just don't seem to mention or give any love to, even though for me it's up there as one of my favourite Game Boy Advance games. Heck, maybe even one of my favourite Zelda games. So I decided I'd give this game some of the spotlight. And how, you ask? Well, by showing off all its glitches and bugs, of course. And let me tell you, there is a lot. So from minor glitches to major glitches, I'll be showing off as many as I can. So let's jump straight into this. The first glitch is on top of Mount Krenel, and involves this mushroom, and to the right there's a rock we can move. Now what we want to do is move the rock to the bottom of the mushroom, then go to the top of the mushroom and use the gust jar. If you get it right, you'll be flung and in between the mushroom and the rock. Now if you grab the mushroom and let it go, well, this happens. Goodbye little mushroom, I knew you well. The next glitch is in the second dungeon and involves these enemies called Rollobites. Normally you would complete the puzzle and continue, but if you complete the puzzle, leave the room and re-enter it, they'll respawn. You can now take a Rollobite and walk up the stairs, at which point you can now throw it on top of the wall. Once it wakes up, it will now be on a higher level than Link and start walking around. When they're like this, they can't hurt Link and will just walk straight over him. Overall this is a little odd, but I feel like we can get Stranger out of this game. Next up is a glitch in the third dungeon and is used in speedruns to skip about half of it. First of all, you'll need bombs and the moments, which you can get in this dungeon. Now once you have them, go to this room and get to the Minish Stone. Then we can start the glitch. Normally you can't use any items while on a Minish Stone, but if you go onto the side of one, then press up and right on the D-pad, and then use the moments, it will let you on the Minish Stone, and then the moments will knock you onto a higher level. But before I show off how to utilize this glitch, I want to show you what can sometimes happen. Every now and then you'll jump on top of the stone and then slowly use the moments, and go through this very strange little animation. This is just a very peculiar little thing I wanted to point out. But to get to the boss of the dungeon, place a bomb at the topmost part of the Minish Stone. Then as fast as you can, use the moments to jump on top of the stone. After that, you'll want to press up on the D-pad right before the bomb goes off. If you did this correctly, then the blast of the bomb and the height that the moments gave you will push you on top of the wall. You're now in a state where you can walk over areas that are lower than you, and enemies and pits can't interact with you. But you can still pick up things like pots and skulls and then get items out of them. Now that you're like this, you can go left and up and then you'll be in the boss room. The only problem is, because we're in this glitch state, the boss fight will start and the game will softlock, and we won't be able to move or actually fight him. To stop this, in the room before, just go above the door and jump down. You can now walk into the boss room and start the fight normally. Another little side note, if you pause the game and then enter the boss room from the right, the boss will glitch out slightly. This is still a softlock, but it looks very odd. But now that we've completed the third dungeon, we get given the most broken item in the game, the Ocarina of Wind. The normal use for the ocarina is to fast travel to places you've already been, but you can get a completely different effect out of it. First have the ocarina equipped and find a set of stairs. Now all you have to do is use the ocarina on the exact frame that you start walking up the stairs. Instead you'll still be in control of Link, and you can walk around like normal, and all the NPCs on screen will now freeze in place. But note, if you roll on the screen that you perform the Ocarina Glitch in, Link will freeze in place and the game will be softlocked. And if you use an item like the Cane of Patchy in this state, then all the animations and sprites will freeze. You can keep using it and eventually Link and the townsfolk will disappear. And if you use the Ocarina, you'll stop the glitch, and you'll get to hear this lovely sound. But that's fun and all, but what makes this glitch so broken? Well, when you're in this Ocarina Glitch, you have all the same properties as the last glitch I showed. You can walk over pits, enemies can't hit you, and if you get high enough you can straight up walk over any wall or obstacle. So later in the video I'll be showing off uses of this glitch. But first, here's something you can do with the moments. First go to this digging spot to the west of Hyrule Town, and just dig around like you normally would. Now without leaving Hyrule Field, make your way to this dig spot to the east of Hyrule Town, and then dig into the cave like the other one. And you'll see something's not quite right. I don't think this is meant to be there. Oh well, let's go back to the first dig spot, shall we? Well, this is getting even worse. For some reason the game connects both the caves, and if we don't leave the world map, it just mashes them together, to the point where we can even get behind the walls. Very odd, but exiting Hyrule Fields fixes this. Next up is a glitch that's in the roof of the shop. If you go to the end of the room and then use the Ocarina Glitch, you can run over the pits and hit a load zone that will take you to the baker's roof, but you'll be stuck behind an invisible wall. But if you equip the Pegasus boots and then perform the Ocarina Glitch, you can get a different outcome. Now instead of walking into the loading screen, use the boots and run at a slight angle. Doing this you should bypass the loading zone and get to the roof of Mr. Left's house. and when you get here you'll see this very strange looking Minish. You okay there, pal? And if you pause and unpause, hit change again. Also, if you do this glitch, the book that's meant to be in the roof disappears. I have no idea why this happens, but it is strange to say the least. The next glitch requires you to first fuse keystones with this guy in the yellow house at the west end of Hyrule Town. He needs this keystone, which is pretty easy to get. Once you've done that, it'll make a teleporter that will take you to a house later on in the game. Normally this is meant to just give you some treasure chests as a reward for fusing kinstones, but thanks to the Ocarina Glitch we can make two things happen. First of all, to stop you from getting to a later part of the game, they put these people blocking these staircases. But we can use the Ocarina Glitch and just walk straight through them. This will actually get us to the 5th dungeon early, which is the first thing I wanted to show here. The only problem is we need to defeat the 4th dungeon to complete this dungeon. And then when you try and leave, the second part of this glitch happens. You get stuck behind this little girl and softlock the game. Oddly enough now, if you go down the staircase with the other NPC, you could just walk straight by. Now before we move on to the next dungeon, there's a small glitch we can do in Hyrule Town. To do this glitch, you need to have started the Happy Half Inn Oracle side quest, and help one of these lovely ladies find a home. Once you've done that, they'll reward you with a bottled item called Charms, which will give you buffs while also changing the colour of your clothing. The odd thing about this is when you use a charm in the cafe, Link's colour palette will get a little, well, messed up. This isn't permanent, and once you leave the building or shrink down, Link will revert back to the charm's original colours. On to the 4th dungeon, where there are a handful of glitches you can perform, starting off with a simple one. Early on in the dungeon you'll find a lily pad, which you can use to get to the lower levels of the dungeon, but since there's a mushroom right before you can fall down the waterfall to get there, you can grab it and just hang on there for dear life. You can also pull it back and fling yourself off to the side of the screen, but you fall down like normal and you can continue like you didn't just fall off a waterfall. Once you get to about a third of the way through the dungeon, you'll get to this room with a staircase. And with this you can use the Ocarina Glitch, and I get to show off something I didn't really get to earlier. Well, in the Ocarina Glitch, if you're at a higher up level, you can walk over walls that are lower than you, and you won't jump off and lose your height. Using this you can skip quite a lot of the dungeon. But while you're in the Ocarina Glitch like this, you can make something else happen. Just walk down 2 rooms and you'll realise that the light in this room is a little messed up, and if you walk back up you'll realise that the light is now glitched and turned on. This can be pretty useful in the dungeon since there are a lot of darkened rooms. The last glitch in the 4th dungeon would be, well, as I mentioned earlier, skipping half the dungeon. First of all, go back to the staircase where we used the Ocarina Glitch, and, well, activate it. Now go down once and left twice. Then you should be back at the waterfall from earlier, but a little messed up. Also a quick note, if you go up from here you'll actually always hold on to the wall, and this will end the Ocarina Glitch. But that's not what we want to do. From the bottom of the waterfall, if we go left again, up once, and then right, from here we can play the ocarina and this will cancel the glitch. And then you can just jump down off the wall. And there you have it. If you continue from here you'll get to the second level of the dungeon, and now you can fight the boss. But don't do what I did and not get the flame lantern, which is the item of this dungeon, because you kinda needed to defeat the boss, and if you don't have it, well, yep, I was screwed. And with the 4th dungeon out the way with, let's crack on with some of the more useless glitches in the game. Starting with a glitch that requires you to get a bomb upgrade. To get this bomb upgrade, just go to the first Minish town and fuse kinstones with the village elder. Then leave the village to the left and speak to the Minish in the house outside. He'll now give you a bomb upgrade that you can detonate whenever you want. And with this, we're going to go to the top of Mount Krenel. Once you get there, get to this mushroom that's right next to the very first glitch I showed. To do this glitch, all you have to do is pick up a bomb and then fall off the edge of the mountain. Because of this strange animation that plays when Link falls off, the bomb gets stuck in the air. Now all you have to do is jump off the cliff and detonate the bomb right as the jump animation starts. This should knock you up and out of bounds. There's really no use to this glitch, but it is kinda cool to just mess around with the weather and lighting effects up here. To do this, all you have to do is run from one side of the mountain to the other. Next up is a glitch in Link's house that's in the room with the blacksmith. For some reason, this bit of the wall makes the same sound a bombable wall would make. And if you use a bomb on it, the sound goes away. The only thing I can think of for this is if there was once going to be a bombable wall here, and the effect was left in. Or it may have just been an oversight from the developer's side, but very strange to say the least. Up next is a small glitch you can do with any pit that Link can jump in. All you have to do is jump into the pit, and then hold down left on your D-pad. And then if you jump out while holding these buttons, Link will now be right-handed. Yep, that's really all this glitch has to offer. On to the next one. This one requires you to have the Flame Lantern. Use it on any patch of grass that extends out. Run over to the other side and pick up the patch of grass as it gets set alight. If you did this right, Link should be grabbing thin air. Just pull back and Link will now be holding a patch of grass with no properties. Now the game thinks this patch of grass doesn't exist, so if you throw it, all you're going to get is an odd shadow that slowly disappears. For this next glitch you're going to need any old rupee and the sword beam technique that you can get from the swordmaster in the courtyard of Hyrule Castle. Once you have this, all you have to do is pick up a rupee and shoot your sword beam as the rupee sound is still going on. The sound of the sword beam and the rupee sound will kind of distort each other, and if you've played Minish Cap before, you've actually probably heard this. Now let's get into 3 glitches you can only perform on the PAL versions of the game. All of these glitches straight up hinder your gameplay or don't do anything at all. So to start off with, let's jump into a quest chain, involving this guy. His name's Eenie, and you need to fuse kinstones with him to complete the Goron side quest, that will end up giving you a bottle and the mirror shield later on. The only problem with this is that in the PAL versions of the game, if you start the kinstone fusion, cancel it and then leave the area, Eenie will think the fusion is complete, and you won't be able to get one of the Gorons for the side quest. And if this happens, the only way to get the Goron and finish the side quest is to restart your save file and play the entire game again. Just like the previous one, this next glitch is in the PAL version of the game, but you can't stop it from happening. Normally if you have the bomb bag and go to the shop in Hyrule Town, you can get the last bomb bag upgrade which will max your bombs, which is 99. But for some reason in the PAL version of the game, the bomb bag just never appears, and there's no way to actually get it. So for the rest of the game you can only get 50. And to add insult to injury, he sounds so smug about it. And now for the only PAL glitch that doesn't affect gameplay in any way, and is actually quite interesting. To the bottom right of Hyrule Town there's a place you can hand currency over called Mystery Shells, and he'll give you a random figurine. And there's one for every character in the game, but the one we want is the Ice Wizzrobe. The reason we want this enemy is because left over in the PAL version of the game is a text box description that states, "They're weak against fire, so hit them with a fire rod." The thing that makes this strange is the fact that the fire rod isn't in this game. So what I think is at one point in this game the fire rod was planned to be in the game, and was scrapped for the flame lantern. Or it was just a mistranslation for the flame lantern. Now that all the PAL exclusive glitches are out the way with, let's continue on with a glitch that involves these ghosts in the royal graveyard. All you have to do is get them to grab you as you use the dust jar on them. And well, Link will become decapitated, and then the game will become softlocked. The only thing you could do is squirm around or turn your console off. I find the easiest way to get this glitch to work is to get to about here with your lantern on, and just use the dust jar. The ghost should run straight at you and get stuck. The next set of glitches are in the 5th dungeon, and most of them require you to get the Roc's Cape, which you can find about a quarter of the way through the dungeon. But for the first glitch we'll also need to leave the dungeon and learn a sword technique from Hyrule Town. With this we can now jump and then slam the sword down on the ground. Using this we can get a glitch at the very start of the dungeon. Go to the very top of the first room and then jump off the side using the Roc's Cape, and then use the sword technique while pressing up on the D-pad. This will make Link transition to the next room, but because there's no pathway, he'll fall forever, and the game is now softlocked. Even if you run out of hearts, Link will just keep falling. Later on in the dungeon, you'll get to a darkened room with a staircase on the left hand side. Now if you use the Ocarina Glitch from here and run to the right, you can walk up these set of stairs and get enough height to walk over the walls. And on going outside, you'll get this beautiful view. You'll even get to see the elusive floating rocks. But if you go back inside the main room, and then pause and unpause the game, the darkness in the room will vanish, and you can finally see all the things trying to kill you. The next glitch will be in this dungeon's boss room, and it's quite a strange one. If you pause, go to the dungeon map, unpause and then jump towards the top of the screen, there will now be a glitched out platform you can actually stand on. There's not really any point to this, but it is pretty cool to see. And if you go onto the dungeon map and select a different floor, the mess of glitches will change, which can sometimes make you fall off. And every map seems to have a different glitched out platform. So mess around and see what you get. Now I know what you're thinking, there can't possibly be any more glitches in this temple since we're on the final boss. But there is one more glitch left in this dungeon. First of all, get to the part of the boss fight where you jump onto the back of one of the blue Georgs. Now this is the part I really hate about this glitch. You now have to jump and use your sword technique that we got at the start of this dungeon, and immediately start slashing your sword. If you do it right, then you should be on a higher level than the Georg. So you won't be hit by his tail, but you can still hit his eyes to defeat him. And if you did this right, you should now be flying in the air for as long as you're spamming the sword. Now what I hate about this glitch is I couldn't get it consistently, and had to keep spamming the button till my thumb just couldn't spam anymore. And what use does this glitch have? Nothing. It's a useless glitch. But once you let go, the game will softlock, and the screen will fly to the top left and, well, just freeze. But from here you can actually walk over and see Link's shadow, but he can also randomly just fall off. But that's it for the 5th dungeon, only a handful of glitches left, so let's crack on. Now that the 5th dungeon's complete, there's only one more glitch before moving on to the final dungeon. And if you want to have all 20 heart containers before completing the game, this is a pretty important glitch. Normally you'd have to complete the game, then you'd have to collect all 136 figures to get a piece of heart. But if you get all 130 you can get before completing the game, this guy will say you have all 136, and that we have an item called the Karloff medal. Sir, I hate to tell you this, but I really don't think we do. But now we can get into his house and get the last piece of heart. And now for the last stretch, on to the final dungeon. Well, the first glitch I'm going to show off will practically skip over most of it. From the start, go left and then up twice. Then once you get to the room with the skeletons, use the Ocarina Glitch on the staircase. Now go down 2 times and then left back to the beginning. But this time we're going to go left. Now from here, go up and you'll be stuck in a wall, but if you equip the Rock's Cape, you can just jump straight out of it. Now from here, go down and keep going, and you'll walk straight through a locked door, but you know, just normal stuff. Also, quick note, you should go down from here and leave and re-enter the dungeon. This will make it easier on you later on. But from this main room, you'll want to go up, and continue like normal till you get to this key. Now go back to the main room where we walked through the door, then head to the left side of the room and you'll see a staircase that we're going to perform the Ocarina Glitch on. Now from here we're going to go up once, left once, and then up. Go to the top of this room and there'll be a set of stairs we can use to gain height for the Ocarina Glitch. Now we're going to go straight down and walk over this wall. Now from here we're going to want to go left once. And this is the room we want to get to. Go to the top of the stairs and jump down to cancel the Ocarina Glitch. Then go up twice and there'll be a treasure chest with a key in. And with this I'd say we're about 1/3 of the way through the dungeon. Now save the game and restart. Now once you load it, go back to the set of stairs in the main room, and use the Ocarina Glitch and repeat what we just did. But instead of going to the left, once we gain height we want to go to the right, and you should get to a room full of Gibdos. So jump down and walk up the stairs twice, just like last time. And we'll have our 3rd key, 1 more to go and we can save Zelda. Now this next part can be a bit of a pain the first time you do it. Now from the room below we want to go left. But unfortunately there's a door block in the way. Now what we have to do is perform the Ocarina Glitch while having the Rock's Cape equipped, and get to the very edge of the doorway where we can't even see Link anymore. Now from here we're going to use the Rock's Cape while also pressing left on the D-pad. If you do this right you should gain height while entering the room, and jump straight over the door. But this Ocarina Glitch isn't finished just yet. Now from here we're going to go up once, and we have to do the exact same glitch on the door to the left. But for some reason you have to roll before you can use the Rock's Cape on the doorway. And for some reason this one even allows you to jump on the side. But this doorway is essentially the same, so just jump over it like the last one, and then continue like normal. But just remember the Ocarina Glitch still is in effect, so when you get to this chain path, just use the Ocarina and you can jump back down like normal. But now, for the last stretch of this dungeon. Once you get to this room, go up and fight the Dark Knuckle. But once you defeat him, a lot more of them will spawn. But now the doorways are open. But luckily for us, we already picked up most of the keys. So we only actually have to fight these 2 Knuckles on the right. Once you do that, go up and continue till you get the last key. And now for the final time, save the game and restart. Now from the main hall, if you walk on the blue portal and go up, you can use all the keys we got and get the boss key. Then walk back on the blue portal, go onto the red portal, and finally we got into the last stretch of this dungeon. And surprisingly, that is actually faster than doing the dungeon the normal way. And now it's time to beat Vatty and save Zelda. And once we do save her, we're meant to escape. But before that, we could do the Ocarina Glitch and run all the way to the beginning of the dungeon. From here, we can go up to the Hyrule prison cells. And we could even talk to the king. King, are you okay there? I think she's right here. Wait, even the knights think she's not here? Maybe the king's advisor can... Nope, none of them can see her. Okay then. We can also shrink down and see Zelda do this odd thing. Something tells me the Hyrule royal family have 1 or 2 problems. And now, finally, onto the last glitch of the game. For this one, start off by doing the Ocarina Glitch with Zelda again. But this time, instead of going up to the cells, go left till you get here, and then go up, and just like last time you'll be stuck in the wall. Just use the Rock's Cape and you'll jump straight out the wall. From here, go up and start to complete the dungeon like normal. As you do so, you'll realise 1 or 2 things are a bit odd. The game really doesn't expect you to have Zelda here, so it really doesn't know what to do when you do certain things. But the main thing I want to show is at the boss room where we save Zelda. When you enter, you'll get all the same dialogue we had before. So I started to think, if I did this, would I have a second Zelda following me around? So I made it all the way up back to the boss fight, and there was nothing. But it was pretty cool to walk around in this room you're usually not allowed to. But here's the downside. If you leave the room, the text box will appear and force you back into it. Yep, now we're stuck in this room with the game softlocked. And with that, there were 28 glitches shown off, 19 hours and 26 minutes recorded, 9 softlocks, 2 game overs, 1 mushroom that evaporated into the sky, and 1 bomb bag upgrade that I'll probably never get in my lifetime. And there you have it, the first video on my YouTube channel and the first episode of my series. But with that said, what's the next episode gonna be? Well, it's gonna be... Hello and welcome to the end of the video. Here I'm going to thank some people who helped me out with this video. First up is a YouTuber that got me into glitches, and his name is Psycho. He's pretty damn funny, and his videos inspired me to make this one, so thanks. Second up is Dark Zone. He's a YouTuber who makes glitch videos and just game videos in general. And I most likely wouldn't have understood half the glitches in this game if it wasn't for him. So even if I can't understand what you're saying, thanks! And last but not least is a website, and it's called the Spriters Resource. If it wasn't for them making high quality rips, the backgrounds would have taken a lot longer to make. So thanks! And thank you to all of these people, and you, for making it this far. Hope you liked it, and if you have any questions, just ask in the comments. Goodbye!